Hey guys, Xaryu here, and today I'm going to be playing some Arcane Mage with my boy Dino in some 2v2 arenas, Ruins of Lordaeron versus Holy Paladin Shadow Priest. Now this is a matchup that more often than not we actually lose, and most of the time we lose, but this game was played pretty awesome towards the end, and I kind of want to break down our strategy and break down how we play. So if you guys didn't know, currently Dino and I playing Resto Druid Arcane Mage are I think the highest 2v2 mage in North America. And we do this just by kind of dampening and bursting with cooldowns when I think I can actually burst with cooldowns. So a lot of people kind of will criticize my gameplay that I don't use Arcane Power Presence of Mind quite enough, but I kind of hold it for when the time is right. So sometimes that's on cooldown, and then sometimes we kind of wait for a nice setup before using it. So kind of what I'm waiting for before I use Arcane Power and Presence of Mind is just a little bit of CC onto the Paladin, and for the Priest not to be too squirmy, and to have my Arcane Missiles ready. If all of those things aren't met, then I'm kind of not really just going to waste my Arcane Power Presence of Mind. But in the meantime, guys, we are CCing the Paladin and killing the Priest, essentially, but it's going to take a little bit, more work than that. Paladin has Bubble, Paladin has Sacks, Paladin has Wings, Paladin has Trinkets, Priest has Dispersion. Priest is not playing Life Swamp, he actually is playing Psyfiend instead, but we definitely want to keep an eye out for, one, those massive spells on the polymorphs, as you just saw there. So whenever I'm going for the polymorph onto the Paladin, Priest is going to go for a massive spell, and I would need to either save my counterspell for that, or my Blood Elf Silence for that, or if it gets massive spell, then go for the re-polymorph so that the Paladin is still in that CC. So that's definitely one of the things we're keeping an eye out for offensively. Now, guys, defensively, it is critically important that you do not let the Shadow Priest free cast. Right there, that Vampiric Touch counterspelled. If we just sit in the open and let the Shadow Priest cast Vampiric Touches, we are going to die. Shadow Priests do so much damage if you let them free cast. Now, I really only have one kick, right? I only have a counterspell every 20-24 seconds. So if I don't use that counterspell on Vampiric Touch, if I use it on, say, a massive spell, then guess what? He can free cast for the next 20 seconds. So how do we combat that? Line of sight. We have to play near line of sight in order for this Shadow Priest not to free cast. Now, as you're seeing here in this game, we did eat some Vampiric Touches. It's not like early in dampening, it's not that big of a deal, right? Early in dampening, when dampening's only 20 or 30%, Resto Druid should easily be able to heal through it. The problem starts to arise when dampening's at, say, 70 or 80%, and then you're letting these free Vampiric Touches go off over and over. It's not bad practice that early in dampening, you also want to line sight these Vampiric Touches. However, keeping up this offensive pressure and trying to burn through their cooldowns early on into the game, definitely going to be worthwhile as well. So Paladin has that Infusion of Light. This is kind of a giveaway that the Paladin's going to use his Aura Mastery in the fast cast, Flash of Light, so you can kind of get ready to spell steal. This is something that I actually don't think I've talked about in a video, but whenever you see this Infusion of Light, you can definitely get ready for that big heal coming out from the Paladin when he uses that Aura Mastery. So I'm not sure if he's going to actually use it right there. Boom, if you guys just saw it, I'll actually rewind and try to pause it right. Boom. There's the big heal. This is the Aura Mastery that I like to talk about from Paladins. They use it to get that big Holy Light off. I guess it's a Holy Light, not Flash of Light. And that is prefaced by the Infusion of Light. So if you see the Infusion, get ready to Spell Steal Kick that. I don't actually manage to get the Spell Steal Kick there. I was killing that Psyfiend instead. Psyfiend, guys, is interesting. Psyfiend's something that you can't really kill very easily as an Arcane Mage, right? So if you use Arcane Barrage, well, okay, you can, but then you're going back down to 0 stacks, and you kind of ruin all of your stacks. So that's not very efficient. If you use Missiles, then you'll also kill it, but then, well, one, you might not always have missile procs, and then two, Missiles are like your big way to burst. So if you use your Missiles, then once again, it's not very good offensively. So whenever the Priest pops Psyfiend, it just kind of sucks. So right here, Paladin actually bubbles and sacks the Priest, and we Cyclone the Priest. Amazing job by Dino to actually land these Cyclones. We're not in voice, by the way. We're doing no voice games. To actually land the Cyclones exactly when they're needed. Actually, right here, let's go ahead and rewind that. Priest is low. Paladin has the Infusion of Light. There's the fast cast. Boom, Spell Steal Kick it on the focus target. Once again, this is in full speed. Boom, Spell Steal Kick the Paladin. just like that, to continue that CC chain rolling. So then we get that full polymorph, because now the polymorph falls off the diminishing return. Now Priest is getting very low. There's the War Stomp and the I can't stress this enough, guys. The Cyclone, or whatever this is called, the Twister, the Tornado, I don't know, Typhoon, whatever is sucking that Priest back, I can't, the name escapes me right now, is so important from Dino, and that's what makes him such a good Druid in 2s. He knows when to use that War Stomp to keep the Priest in place, when to use that, we'll call it Typhoon, it's not Typhoon though, Tornado, to keep that Priest in place so I can continue to damage him. If Priest were to boom, shoot around the corner right now, it would be very unfortunate. I wouldn't be able to get the damage I need to force any more defensive cooldowns. And then look at that. Dino's running in to get the Cyclone follow-up CC on the Paladin. Siphon goes down, but now we have 3 Sheeps onto the Paladin and the Cyclone on the Paladin. Now the Cyclone on the Priest to keep him nice and low HP. Once the CC on the Paladin ends, Priest decides to trinket it. Hammer of Justice comes out on the Dino, and this is where Dino could get into a little bit of trouble. I get feared. Vampiric Touch is going out. This is definitely pretty scary for us, so I go ahead and Sheep the Priest. Now, Sheeps on the Priest shouldn't be happening too frequently. If you're sheeping the Priest too much, you're healing him, and then you're just going to rot down and he's going to be full HP. However, in that situation, he was already 100% life, so I'm effectively not healing him, and we kind of wanted to stall out the game. Here's the Master Spell being casted out. He does fake cast my counter spell. Go with the Blood Elf Silence instead. Go for that Repolymorph. Siphon's up. Go ahead and insta-kill that Siphon. Going for one more Sheep on the Paladin. There it is. Now we would love a Cyclone on one or the other target right here. Double Fear coming out, though, to stop it. That Temp Shield bringing me back to full life. Paladin uses Big Heal there. That Aura Mastery heal to top the Priest back off. So they are going to be fine for now, but I have that Iron Bark on me as well, so I'll be completely okay with Full Hots and Iron Bark a lot of the times. That Full Sheep comes out of the Pally, have the counter spell if he does decide to cast that Massive Spell, or if he has enough mana for it. Looks like I'm going to go for that Repolymorph. There's the Typhoon sucking him back in, and tons of damage coming out of the Priest. There's actually a Dispersion Force right there. So that's pretty much how we're going to do it, guys. 3 Sheeps into 3 clones. If we can, Cyclone the Priest low, keep them nice and low, and then switch the CC back on over to the Paladin until they're out of cooldowns. There's the sacrifice coming up from the Paladin once again. Dino is trying to get the Cyclone, but it was silenced by the Priest. Now Paladin's going for that, probably that big heal once again pretty soon, as we see that Infusion of Light up there. He has his big heal probably off cooldown in about 10 seconds now. Having this slow up on the target, guys, I guess I don't talk about this enough, is very important. Alright, Torment the Weak. You do 15% increased damage to slow targets. That's why you see me keep this slow up onto the enemy target almost all of the time, because you're going to do so much more damage. So using those globals to keep up the slow up, or just that Chrono Shift debuff provides the slow as well, aka provides that 15% damage bonus from Torment the Weak. So one or the other, you always want to keep up. Now, Full Sheep the Paladin, he actually does pre-sack it, so I'm kind of just hanging out. We got the sack, Priest at full HP. Priest probably has a Dispersion back, but I mean, I have Ice Block, guys. I have a lot of defensive cooldowns. I'm ready to burst. I can hit the Paladin sometimes too, by the way, with a little bit of cleave damage. If Pally puts himself in a position where, you know, he's 50% life and I spell steal kick him, we could just kill him, but that's not really what we're going for. There's the Infusion of Light. I try to go for the spell steal kick there, but don't quite get it. Full Polymorph, though, comes out. Priest taking a ton of damage. Mind Control coming out. I do go ahead and shrink it, trying to get that resheep, but looks like I get it. Dino is going for the Cyclone as well, but he did get silenced, so that silence is actually good, because now Dino is not silenced when he can go for another Cyclone. So hopefully we go ahead and get that. Hammer of Justice now coming out onto Dino. I have skin and some hots, so it looks like I'm going to be okay. Infusion of Light from the Paladin. Throw out that Blood Elf Silence. It looks like he might be going for another big heal soon when that's off of cooldown. And that's just kind of the name of the game, guys. CC. Go for a nice kicks on the Paladin when you can. Cyclone targets low. Keeping that slow debuff up. I'm not casting a lot of Arcane Blast, as you guys probably have noticed. A lot of my abilities are slow, Arcane Explosion, and Arcane Barrage. Namely, what do they all have in common? They're instant casts. I do not want to just go for Arcane Blast and have the Priest keep line of sighting it, because then I would never get any damage off. But Orb, Barrage, Explosion, Blast, Palm Blast, all these things are instant cast damage, and that's really, really important. So right here, I actually want to make a note. He put the Siphoned out, and I was locked. I think I was locked in Arcane. Yeah, I was silenced here. I was silenced here, and the Siphon was out. That's unfortunate, right? So, but what you can do if you're silenced is just run up to the Siphon and actually just melee that Siphon down, because it only has 1 life. So melee will actually work as well. Another spell steal kick there onto the Paladin. I'm going to rewind just for a sec. There's the Infusion of Light. That's actually not a spell... Actually, was it a spell steal kick? We'll play that one more time. No, that was just Oh, that was a spell steal kick. Boom, spell steal kick on the Paladin. Once again, those spell steal kicks, guys, so big. Not only are you locking out the Paladin, but you're single-handedly removing his greatest offensive big heal and locking him out. And now he's going to have trouble topping back up the Priest. Another little quick tip here, guys. You can blink and shimmer to get the polymorph, but at the same time, you can use displacement to get that same polymorph, okay? So my displacement is over here by this little arcane dot that you see on the screen. Pally's up on the top. I'm casting polymorph, okay? Pally lines towards the other way, and I displace back to continue to cast this polymorph and polymorph the Paladin out of line of sight. I didn't have a blink available, but I did have that displace available. And so it's very important to keep in your mind where your displace charges are so you can use your displacement to either get more burst or land more CC. So it's a combination of all of these things that are actually making this game possible, even though it's a very, very difficult matchup for us. Another polymorph now comes out on the Pally. Third polymorph comes out on the Pally. There's a Cyclone onto the Paladin as well. Priest getting pretty low here. I do get this full Fears, really wanting to ice block this Fear, but probably shouldn't have. I have that counter spell available. Might have been able to just use it there on that Vampiric Touch instead, because dampening is getting pretty high here. Cyclone now comes out onto the Priest on that sacrifice. So once again, perfect Cyclones by the boy Dino. Paladin pops his Infusion of Light, his wings, so much damage coming out. Siphons is up, and at this point, Priest is at 14% life. Pally has his aura up. I should be able to spell steal kick that if I see it, but this Siphon really needs to die as well. So there's like a lot of things that need to happen. Boom, Priest 14% life. If I just do a little bit more damage, he's dead. I need to spell steal kick this Paladin, or else he's going to top the Priest back off. And I need to kill the Siphon, but I only have 1 global per second. So it's almost like, what do you choose in a situation like this? Looks like I do not get the spell steal kick. Trying to just finish off the Priest here, but he's still about 10% life. Paladin does bubble. Siphon eventually fades. Priest does survive. So that could have been handled a little bit better. That game probably would have been over there if I got that spell steal kick instead of just trying to kill the Priest there at very low HP. But this game's definitely, we have the tempo upper hand right now. Definitely games in our favor. Pally, no trinket, no bubble. Pally's at 50% life too. Instead of talking about, Pally could die if he's at, letting himself get super low. Now, the Priest is the primary kill target, but Pally's 40% life with no bubble and no trinket. So he definitely could be the kill target if he doesn't top himself back off. There's the bash. There's the Mark of a Lunith right out of the counterspell into the bash and the War Stomp from my Druid. 1% life, and now Paladin finally goes down. Now, this game is not over yet. It is still about 80% dampening, and there's a Shadow Priest left in the game, and we have dots, and we're low HP, and we're running, waiting for that Barrage to come back up, kill that Siphon. Priest is chasing us both down. Probably should just ice block here so we can't get their Shadow Word deaths. Now full silence onto Dino. 80% dampening. I just moused over it. There was 78 or 80% dampening. Definitely very scary, but he eventually falls. And that's the ball game, guys. That's 2,600 MMR 2v2 arenas. We got that +8 there. It was the hardest game ever. After this game, I was like, guys, I was live streaming. I was like, guys, I need to step away for a second. That was exhausting mentally because you have to blink a line of sight and spell steal kick, and there's so many things to watch out for. But nice game there. Super well played by my Resto Druid, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Guys, if you did enjoy this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you did not enjoy the video and you're like, I hate dampening 2v2, you can thumb this video down. That's okay. Just let me know. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys want to see for next time, and don't forget to subscribe. See you guys in the next upload. Peace.